Love it.
Hey, everybody. Thank you all for joining tonight's Monday night training call. We've got a very special guest with us, Mr. Vincenzo Orleck. He is the social media manager for Plexus Worldwide in our corporate office in Scottsdale, Arizona. Vincent, good evening.
Thanks for having me on, you guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're really excited. We had a great time. We've known Vincent now a little over a year or so, year and a half, and met him for the first time at the Phoenix convention. This last convention, he was one of our special guests at our Glitter Like Gold party, and he was just coming to hang out, but he wound up doing about a 3-hour training session at that party. So
we almost ended up seeing the Riviera get blown up.
Almost.
Yes.
Almost happened.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So thanks for joining us tonight. We basically, the format tonight, what we want to do is, we know that social media plays a huge part in our Plexus business, and that's about how 90% of the work gets done. And we wanted to see from the expert, not the guru, the expert, what are some of the best tools to use? And really, before we jump into some of the questions, Vincent, why don't you just give a little background on yourself and tell us about your journey into Plexus and the world that we live in?
Yeah, sure. I was 8 pounds, 7 ounces, born in Providence, Rhode Island. No, I grew up in Rhode Island back east, if you couldn't tell from my stupid accent. And I moved out here to Arizona about 11 years ago this summer. Worked for the newspaper out here and their website, azcentral.com in the Arizona Republic. Did some advertising sales, and that's how I ended up getting into social media for a career, because I would go in to, I had a lot of these mom and pop businesses that I would work with that I would try to sell advertising space to. And one of the things that was coming out around that time was Yelp. And a lot of companies, these little mom and pops, they had zero idea that they had a listing on Yelp. And now Yelp is kind of, it's sort of social media. It's more of just like a listing website, review website, right? But it kind of falls under the same category. There's a social aspect to it. But I would take the reviews into these owners of these businesses and say, hey, do you know that you have this site, you're on Yelp, and they wouldn't know that there are all these negative reviews sometimes. So I used it as a selling tool in that sense back, I mean, this is 2009, 2010. Then I ended up working with Facebook here in Phoenix, working for them for about a year, helping, again, small businesses, but then I started helping larger businesses with their advertising campaigns and their pages. And then from there, a couple jobs here and there, managing brands online, working for a data center company here in Phoenix called IO, which was basically almost like a startup. But that was all B2B, and it was technology-based. So totally different world, from the B2C, the consumer-based, which is what we sort of do both of here with Plexus, right? On our side, as the brand, as Plexus, we're working with you guys. We're a business, you're a business, but you're also a consumer. So it's a mix of both. And then also, we're trying to spread the word about the business and help you guys spread the word and get the message out there. So my job is twofold. One is to manage the brand online, make sure that all of our social media channels are up to snuff and putting out the brand messaging that we want to have out there in the public eye. The other half of my job is working with you guys and helping you with any questions and providing trainings and anything of that sort to help your lives be a little bit easier on the social media side.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Vincent. So with that, Jen got a bunch of questions this evening or this afternoon, so I'll let you just ask away. Maybe you can share who asked it and list the question.
You want me to be that organized?
I do.
I'm never that organized. But we did get a lot of great feedback, and so we're so grateful again for you doing this, because I think that a lot of us have used social media haphazardly, and what's worked we kind of go with, but then not really understanding the algorithm per se or best practice. And so a lot of the questions we got this afternoon were around posting and here's a kind of a twofold question. What are the best or most effective use social media streams at this point? And then how do we use those most effectively in terms of, do we know the best times of the day to post, the number of times to post, kind of along those lines?
Definitely.
Good question.
Yeah, these are definitely, you guys are right in asking these questions. They're very common ones. And so addressing the first one in terms of the channels, right? So the channels that you want to use. Look, certainly everyone's on Facebook. There's no question. The world is on Facebook. It's 1.5 billion with a B people on Facebook, and that's grown even in the last 6 months from 1.4 billion. So it's not going anywhere. Facebook is not going anywhere. What is going somewhere, what's changing that everyone needs to be aware of within the company and really within the industry is the approach that Facebook has and the attitude they have really towards network marketing and towards MLM. They're not fans of network marketers. Let's just be honest about it, right?
Yeah.
How many times have we seen accounts get suspended for all kinds of things? It's not even that they're bad, doing anything bad. It's sharing a graphic, or just because everyone's posting the same thing at the same time, that gets a lot of people suspended. There's all these reasons why Facebook may or may not suspend your account. So I would also clarify that too, because sometimes people think it's us, and it's not. It's Facebook. It's Facebook suspending the accounts. It boils down to, don't act like a bot would online or on Facebook. So don't do anything really quickly. Don't do a lot of things really quickly. Don't go and like all kinds of posts and everything really quickly within a half hour or 15 minutes or an hour. There's a kind of a fine line. So with that being said, Facebook is still always the biggest, the most popular. You have to be there. If I was an ambassador, which is kind of how I always put it, I would have a Facebook page. I would have my personal profile, and I would also have a page. And I know that a lot of people don't have one.
Like a business page?
A business page, a separate business page. So you have your personal profile that most people are doing their business off, because that's where their network is. Their friends, their family, that's how they connect with other people. The business page is a separate thing. It's free. Anybody can go and set one up. There's some parameters that we have to stay compliant with Plexus. And then there's, things that you want to be aware of that Facebook will kind of make you operate under, if you will. You are beholden to how they manage their site. So everything you do on Facebook is Facebook. If you send a private message, that's Facebook sees that. Facebook sees everything you do on Facebook. So if you share your website, let's say, your Plexus website, in a personal message, there is absolutely a chance that could get you suspended. I'm not saying it definitely will, but it could. It could, because the personal websites, the Plexus websites that you guys all have are things that Facebook does not really favor. They don't want you to do business on your personal profile. And that's what it boils down to. They want to keep Facebook as a social platform, not a selling platform, unless you're doing it on your business page. They want the business to be separate from the personal. So with that being said, when you set up a business page, it's going to take some work. It's going to take some work to build that up and to get traction. And there's different approaches that you take with that page. You can't just be like 300,000 other ambassadors just within Plexus and talk about, here's the Plexus products, because you're not separating yourself. Why am I going to follow your page if you're still there?
We're good. You're good.
Okay. Someone's not going to follow your page just because you set it up or because they're your friend. You have to give people, as with any type of business page on there, no matter what the content is, the company or anything, you have to give people a reason to follow it. That's ultimately it. It comes down to the content. It comes down to the value. And you really have to put yourself in the shoes of the person or people you're trying to reach. So just saying something's valuable to you because you feel like, oh, I'm going to share this, or this is valuable to me because I feel it's valuable. It applies to me. That doesn't mean it's going to apply to other people, and that there's going to be value to other people in what you're putting up there. You just have to put yourself in your customers or potential ambassadors' shoes, and really provide that content to them that they're going to pay attention to. That's what it all comes down to. That's the big thing right now is there's so many things out there, not just social media, not just Facebook, not just Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, not just TV, not just DVR, not just sports. I mean, it's all battling for attention, and that's what you're battling for, is to get people's attention.
That's great. I think I use a simple rule, which is I try and have 2 personal posts before I do a Plexus post. And when I do a Plexus post, my other rule is it has to tie in something personally. So I'm not just going to do essentially an advertisement or commercial, but I'm going to do something that ties into my life and how Plexus is working in my life specifically. Do you think that's a good approach, or what would you suggest?
Well, I would turn it back on you, Phil. Has it worked for you?
Pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it's worked for you. And the thing is that, so that's worked for you. It may not work for that next person. And it's just, it does take some time to figure out, okay, I posted all this stuff this week about products or how the products affected me, what have you. And I got this reaction. This is how many people engage with my posts. That's on your personal profile. One of the big advantages with a business page is it gives you what's called insights at the top, analytics. It'll tell you when the people that follow your page are online. It'll tell you which post did the best in terms of, there's a stat called reach that basically is how many news feeds your post appeared in. Not that it got even really seen or read, but how many it appeared in, just even showed up in. It's a good barometer as to how many people potentially saw it. But that you have to determine that for yourself based on what you see from the engagement on your posts. You have to determine it for you. So if it's working for you and you're doing well and you're feeling like, yeah, I'm getting people from Facebook specifically, or they tell you that they saw your Facebook post, I mean, awesome. That's fantastic. The other thing, so Instagram is the other one that a lot of people have seen a lot of success from. Even a lot of the newer jewels also, I know have used Instagram to a point. Instagram is owned by Facebook, so it's no surprise. Instagram is very visual. It's mobile, almost entirely mobile. It's a relatively low learning curve. So that's usually the one that I'll recommend to people if they're looking for another channel to explore, to start posting on and using. That's a good one because of the learning curve and because it's mobile, which is what you want, and it's visual. And now you can even do up to 60 seconds of video on Instagram. So that's a big deal. You can do a lot in 60 seconds. Mm-hmm. There's a lot you can put out there.
Sure. So now on your Instagram posts, so if you do Instagram, I've seen that people will post an Instagram, but then it floats to their Facebook page.
Do you recommend that?
They people that do that, that's fine. Personally, I've actually seen kind of less engagement with Instagram posts that I post to my Facebook page automatically. I hit the Facebook button when I'm in Instagram.
Right.
I just don't see as much. And the other part about that is with Twitter, a lot of people will say, oh, I do Instagram and then I post to Facebook and Twitter directly from Instagram. When you do it to Facebook, I mean, it's fine. The picture shows up and it shows up with the caption. When you do it to Twitter, just the link shows up to the Instagram post. And more likely than not, people are not going to click on the link to then go to Instagram to go look at what you posted. So it's kind of a wasted effort. Even as minimal as it is, it's still kind of a wasted effort. There's some third-party apps that I use that will post the picture to Twitter also. But in general, it's almost not even worth it.
Okay. And to that end about video, when you said videos, would you agree that video is probably the most engaging form of interaction that we have now, versus a text post or even a text with a picture attached to a photo?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, especially with Facebook, Facebook is really, really pushing video and live video, the streaming video especially, but just video in general. Um, Within the last year, and let me preface this by saying that Facebook and Google do not get along.
Okay.
So within the last year, Facebook kind of changed things up internally with the way the algorithm works, where if you have a YouTube link, which YouTube is Google,
Mm-hmm.
The YouTube link, if you post that link onto your Facebook, that link will not get nearly the traction that a video that you upload natively into Facebook will get. And the native video you upload to Facebook, it'll tell you how many views it got. Take that with a little grain of salt, because a lot of that is because of autoplay, and it counts those as views. So basically, when you have your phone out and you're scrolling through your feed, and a video pops up and starts playing, that counts as a view.
Okay.
In the stats. But it's still a good barometer of how many times something's being seen. But video is absolutely a huge, huge way to go now and in the future. That's where all the platforms are headed, especially Facebook.
And then, Vincent, what's your rule of thumb on any video that you post? You shared in the past with me, but what in terms of length and time, what should a video consist of?
Well, I mean, 30 seconds or so. Here's the thing I'll say about that, though, Phil, because there's definitely a lot to be said for keeping it 30 seconds or less. It does depend on what it's about, because people will sit, and I know you guys have, and I know a lot of ambassadors watching this, like, you sat and watched the video for longer than that on Facebook or social media. So in general, like, if it's 30 seconds or less is a general rule. Absolutely. But I mean, I go through now on Facebook, I'll click a video and I'll open it and it pops up in my phone, right? And I watch it. And now what you see Facebook doing is it automatically moves to another video underneath it, right? And it's like something it's not anything really related necessarily. It's just, here's how they're serving you this video. And there's like 5 more underneath that. Mm-hmm. And I'll definitely sit there and watch it, because usually those videos are funny, really weird, interesting, whatever. And I'll sit there and watch until I get to one where I'm not really that interested, and I'll probably stop at that point. But yeah, it does depend on the content, but I would say that the 30-second rule is a pretty good one.
Okay. Another question.
Well, and to that end, what is the best way to increase your visibility if you don't feel like, I mean, we know that adding friends, if they've not accessed social media a whole lot before now, what is the best way to get themselves in front of more viewers?
So for someone posting something on Facebook, let's say, I would say it kind of depends what it is, because so let's say you're doing a scheduled video. You can promote that ahead of time. You can tell people ahead of time and say, at 7:00 tomorrow night, I'll be here and doing this. So keep an eye out, and then people, maybe they jump on and watch live, or they're aware of it at the very least. In terms of just in general, it's engaging with other people, making those relationships happen without being pushy. That's easier said than done. I know, without trying to sell something all the time. Being in, I'll tell you, probably the most powerful thing that I see on Facebook is Facebook groups, right? Facebook groups, and not the buy, sell, classified, yard sale, not those. There's so many groups on Facebook. Whatever you're interested in has nothing to do with Plexus. Zero anything to do with Plexus. You're a mom, you have kids, toddler age, 3 and under. I mean, there's a group for that. There's a group for anything you want to name. You search it on Facebook under the groups tab, and I guarantee you there's a lot of groups for it, probably.
Sure.
So take your interests, take the things that you're interested in, and join a group, you know, and then when you're in the group, go on, check out all the posts, interact, make comments and things. But it's not about making a comment to then come back and hit them with a sale.
Right.
It's to establish these relationships with people that you're building this trust, and it's not fake trust. I mean, at some level, it's really, you know, you have this online relationship even though you never met in person. I can't tell you how many people I know I've never met in person, but I know from like Twitter, you know, because I've done Twitter chats. You know, that's a similar thing to a Facebook group. But, you know, once a week, every week, there's a lot of these Twitter chats on Twitter that center around a specific topic. There's mommy groups, there's mompreneurs, there's one for that. There's all kinds. Again, same thing as the Facebook groups. By jumping into those chats, and they're centered around a hashtag, say from Tuesday night, on Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m., there's a Twitter chat about being a mompreneur, let's say, and the hashtag is mompreneurs. So there's a discussion around that. There's a specific topic for that week. There's like a guest maybe a lot of times. Jump into that, and then people start following you on Twitter. They'll connect with you because, you know, you're in the same chat and they like what you're tweeting about. You know, any of that sort of activity where you're making these other connections that have nothing to do with the company, with the products, with the opportunity. It's
right.
You just have to do those things. It's part of it. You have to do it. Okay,
so I know that the way that social media goes, it's for the young kids, and when the old people show up, the young kids leave. So Facebook was young, now us olds are all on Facebook, and now the kids went to Instagram. Well, now the old people have invaded Instagram, and now they're on to Snapchat. So talk to us about Snapchat and how we can ruin it for the young kids.
Well, and instead of, I'll say this too, you can add marketers to the old people list. An adult list, because marketers ruin everything too. It's usually, the whole jumping the shark thing is usually once marketers kind of all jump on board, that's when things start to turn.
Okay.
But here's the thing. So Snapchat I know is scary for a lot of people, and I'm not telling anyone that they have to do it. The audience that's on there right now definitely skews younger. Even down to, you know, sub 18-year-olds, but there are a great deal of millennials. There's a lot of 18 to 29-year-olds, really more primarily 18 to 24, 25-year-olds. It's aging up though. There's more and more quote unquote adults that are getting on Snapchat and trying to figure it out.
Yes.
The reason why is it's a fantastic communication tool, more so even than Facebook to a point. Facebook works right now because, and Facebook Messenger, they work because everybody is on it. And instead of texting someone, you can send them a message on Facebook because they're there and they'll see it. With Snapchat, it's just a matter of more and more people getting on it. Right now, there's 200 million users. So compare that to Facebook, which is 1.5 billion. Obviously, doesn't compare quite yet, but what's happening is Snapchat has the attention, and that's why it's getting so much attention of its own. Facebook, here's the comparison. Facebook right now gets 8 billion, again with a B, 8 billion video views a day.
Oh my God.
A day. Snapchat gets 10. Snapchat gets 10 billion video views a day. Now, it's a little bit of apples and oranges because Snapchat, it's quick videos. It's 10-second videos at the most, whereas Facebook gets, you know, number of views, they compare. But in terms of length, it's a little different. Now with Snapchat, there's a feature on there called Stories. When I snap, I can, which is a picture or a video, I can choose, okay, I take this picture and I can have this picture up for 1 second, anywhere from 1 second to 10 seconds. The video, it's as long as I hold down the button up until the maximum 10 seconds. Whenever I keep adding to that, there's a little feature on the bottom, I can add it to my story. When you add it to your story, that means that that snap is up and staying up for a maximum of 24 hours on the platform for people that follow you to see. So when you hear about the snaps disappearing, the pictures and the videos disappearing, that's more like if I'm messaging with you guys directly, let's say on Snapchat, and I send you a snap directly, and I don't put it in my story. You watch it, you see it, that snap disappears afterwards, except you get one replay right now. So you can replay it one time, and then after that, it's totally gone. Unless you do a screenshot. If you do a screenshot, well then Snapchat tells me that you did a screenshot also.
Wow.
So there's all these little things, these little nuances, right? But it's ultimately the communication side of it is really the biggest thing. If you just used it, not for like being funny or anything like that, if you just use it for the communication side of it, you can do essentially a FaceTime call, like an actual call. It's not 10 seconds. It's not whatever, it doesn't disappear. It's a phone call on FaceTime, just like you would on your iPhone. So you do a FaceTime call. You can do just a regular phone call through the app. You can do a quick audio message or a quick video message. It's these little bite-sized 10-second video messages that you can do too. And you can kind of pile them on each other. So aside from all the goofiness, the emojis, the funny faces, the filters, if you were just using it as a communication tool, say with your team, you could do that. You could send your whole team a little quick couple of video messages in a row, or send people directly quick video messages to talk to them and be like, hey, just want to give you a good, get out there and get them today. And the short, inspirational stuff or anything like that. That's kind of a basic use for it that you could use it for.
Okay,
Cool.
So let's talk about, I'll transition, hopefully not jump the shark here. Let's talk about Pinterest. And now, Vincent, you're a new ambassador, and we know Facebook, that's bread and butter. We know how to post there, etc. But I want to start marketing my brand to Pinterest. How would you do that?
So I would go on and I would create a page of an account of my own. I would do a can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Okay. I would do a business account. I would make it a business account. Because again, you get analytics from that, which is Pinterest has actually some really good basic analytics that they provide to you. I would not name it Plexus because number one, it's not compliant. Number two, people aren't really, it's not that they're not looking for Plexus on Pinterest.
Right.
What's happening is 85% of Pinterest is still women, which is, it's actually gotten higher for the men population there from where it started. Hey, look, I don't know if I would spend a lot of time there if I was a guy, but it's certainly.
You are a guy. Just remember.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. If I was a guy ambassador, yeah. I mean, I use it for fun. I have my own account I've had for a while, and we have the company account. But I would be on there. I would schedule the time that I spend on there. Number one, I would schedule, 30 minutes a day if you're really, really pushing it, or maybe 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, if you want to just really ramp it up to get started. And what you're trying to do is not post like Plexus products. You certainly want to have that on your account. You want to have a board dedicated to Plexus products that the link is to your website. But Pinterest is all about all the other stuff. It's all about the recipes and
Health and wellness,
everything, the infographics, and I mean, there's all kinds of stuff on there, and it's all visual, like everything else, it's all visual, but Pinterest especially, and the thing about Pinterest is that the search on Pinterest is humongous.
Yes,
I mean, probably like this was over a year ago, almost 2 years ago, that people were saying it rivals Google and YouTube. Like after Google and YouTube, that's probably the next biggest search engine, because if you're looking for a recipe, you're looking for wedding ideas, anything with weddings, anything with parties,
Right.
teachers, all those folks are going on there and they're searching for things. And the search on Pinterest, if you've used it, you see it gets smarter as you go.
Mm-hmm.
You do the search, and then it gives you additional words that are connected to that one that you may want to search for, and it almost kind of guides you. And it's funny because now on Google does that now too. When you do it, go through the image searches, it does the same thing. So that tells you they knew what they were doing with Pinterest. But yeah, Pinterest is really easy to get caught in a time suck.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to be aware. You just have to.
This time suck too.
It's maybe it's just a weekend thing. Maybe every Saturday you spend a couple hours. You lose yourself for a couple hours, on Pinterest. And again, it's the stuff that you're interested in. It's not the products. It's not the business opportunity. It's not network marketing. It's go on and start pinning from other people. That's how you interact on Pinterest, is you're pinning from other people's boards. You're doing searches and you're commenting on their pins, but then you're also pinning to your own board, and people see that, and that may strike up a conversation about something. Or you can strike up the conversation if you're looking for, make a comment on a post about a recipe that this recipe is awesome. This is perfect for what I was looking for this weekend. We're having a big barbecue, and this is exactly what I needed. And then the conversation may start.
Gotcha.
So it's just all about getting that started, getting that conversation Yeah.
So I'll ask you one more question, and we're going to open it up to everyone who's watching online to ask questions, and we'll go through the format on that here in just a second. So my last question is this, Vincent. Since you are not a guru, by the way, that's his Twitter handle, right? Not a guru. Little plug there. What is the social media application that you see that you're excited about specifically for ambassadors like us in the near future?
Even though I said it's younger audience right now, it's Snapchat. It's Snapchat. I would say the sooner that you can get on there and start playing around with it and start learning everything that it can do. Right now, it's still new enough where you're kind of, even with 200 million users, you're still on the
Early
leading edge.
Yeah.
You're there. Everybody is not on there, and I guarantee you, within a year, maybe two, you'll see the articles being written on all the network marketing sites like they are now about social media. They're going to be talking about Snapchat. They're going to be talking about the growth of it. If you're there when your audience gets there, that's a huge bonus for you. That's a huge key.
Okay. That's great.
That's a great point.
All right, so let's do this. If you've got a question for Vincent, go ahead and unmute your mic, and then we might, if you got noise background, mute it back again. But we'll open it up now. If you've got a question, unmute your mic and ask Vincenzo.
I have a question.
All right, fire away.
Okay, cool. Okay, Vinny, if I wanted to set up a business page, would it make sense to connect that Pinterest page to a business Facebook page as well? Like if I wanted to, I wrote down my question. If you wanted to connect your health posts to your Facebook business page as well, does that even make sense? Can you do that?
Yeah, so there is a way to do that for sure. It involves making like a separate tab at the top. But to be honest, it's not really worth it. People generally, when they're on Facebook, they're not really looking to leave Facebook. So think about how you use Facebook. When you're on Facebook, you're there, right? You're going through and you're doing your things in your groups. You're doing your DMs. You're scrolling through your feed. There may be a link or a story or something where you click on it and it takes you to another site. But usually if you're on Facebook, you're setting it aside from like going on Pinterest or going on Twitter or going on Instagram. It's a separate thing. And the people are trying to spend their time on Facebook, and Facebook wants you to stay there. They're dying for you to stay there. So I wouldn't necessarily connect it because, to be honest, it's not really worth the time that it takes to do it. And for someone to find that Pinterest page, they'd have to click on something separate to get to it, unless you're linking to your page like in a post.
So I guess I meant like people who are scrolling through Pinterest, like if they're already on Pinterest, to get them back and connected to me, to connect them to Plexus in a way. Instead of, like if I was to create a post, it wouldn't make sense for me to create a post and then link my website to this recipe. Like that doesn't make sense. So I want them to connect me on Facebook.
So what you want to do is, here's what you want to do. So you're talking about being on Pinterest.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you're
okay.
on first, and then it directs you to like my fan page on Facebook. So then they're able to follow me if they wanted to or whatever.
Yep.
I just see a lot of in health people doing that. That's why I'm just wondering.
The way you can do it is, let's say you have a post on Facebook that's like an inspirational quote, a graphic, right? It's not Plexus, but it's just like a inspirational quote. You can take that picture, you can upload your own, it's a pin. You upload a pin onto Pinterest, onto a board on your account. And when you upload that, it gives you the option to add in a little caption underneath, and then you pin it to your board. After you pin it to your board, you can then go in and there's a little pencil button. You can edit the pin, and you can add a link to Facebook, back to your Facebook, really to anywhere. But if you're trying to drive people back to your Facebook page, that's something you can do, because you can add any link in there, so that then when someone's on Pinterest and they see that quote, they click on it, it'll take them to your Facebook page where that post appeared, or just to your Facebook page in general.
Yeah. So that might be worth the time. Yeah.
That's different. Yeah. That I would say would be worth it, because you're sending people directly back to your page. And if you're trying to drive traffic and build up your business page, as opposed to your personal profile, like you wouldn't really want to send people to your personal profile with that, but as a way to grow your followers on Facebook, that could definitely be a way, because the pins that are on Pinterest are there. You put them up and they're there. It's like a Google search. Anytime someone types something in that it ends up directing them to that pin, it comes up. It doesn't go anywhere ever unless you take it down.
Awesome. Great question. Thanks.
I have a question.
Yes, fire away.
Okay, so Snapchat is a bit of a mystery to me, and I'm wondering how, because whatever I've ever gotten a Snapchat from anyone, it's like a picture personal to me with a funny little, this is what I'm doing today or whatever caption. How would that work to use for business? Would I be like blasting people a couple times a day with like, what would I be doing? Help me here. I don't understand how Snapchat could be used, I guess.
So yeah, great question. It's all of this, the social media, everything really, it shouldn't necessarily be about blasting your business or trying to sell something all the time. And that's where Snapchat comes in, where it's about making the connections with people. It's about people wanting to pay attention to what you're saying. And why do they want to pay attention to you? Maybe you're interesting, you're doing something interesting, you're at a certain event, you're at a concert. Why are they going to follow you? You have to give them a reason to follow you, and it can't always just be because this product can help them. It just isn't always going to work. So it's about connecting with people in the same sense that you connect with people outside of Facebook or outside of social media. Do you always connect with someone just solely based on the fact that you think they should try Slim or try Edge? Like, how else do you connect with people? That's how you want to treat it. You want to treat it as though it's other people. They're not customers. They're not potential ambassadors. And really the best way to start using it is not in a business fashion. It's in a personal way. It's showing people, here's what I'm doing today. You know, I'm just going to, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to do this or that, or I'm making something really cool, like a dish. I'm making this new recipe, and here's how I'm doing it. And then you take snaps of each individual thing that you do within the recipe.
Okay,
and that's, you know what I mean?
I understand that, but then like it's about building the relationship and connecting with them separate from anything Plexus related. But then like, when do you lay it on them? Like, what do you do?
Well, when do you normally do that?
It depends. Usually they know enough about my activities in my life on social media that they'll, because I have talked about Plexus, that they'll come to me and say, you know what, girl, I think I'm ready to try that pink potion of yours or whatever.
Yep.
So you're saying just to use it just to connect and be social with people aside from anything Plexus related, and then just hope that they come to me at some point and say, hey, you look really good. What is it? Or, I mean, that's how, in essence, really the social media side of things that's how it should work, to be honest. It's you're putting this out there. You're putting your brand, your personal brand. This is all part of your personal brand that you're putting out there, that you're showing people. And it doesn't mean that you never, ever talk about Plexus, but it's just not like a hard sell. That's all. It's not like you constantly pitching, I'm going to I'm doing this and this Plexus Slim helped me do this and that. You certainly, if you're going to a meeting, you go into a sip and see or something. I don't know. It's anything like that. An opportunity meeting. Show that. Show it. I get it.
Yeah, just show your life. It's just like we always talk about with the example we always use is Celeste, right? Celeste, she on Instagram, like she has this brand on Instagram where if you click on this hashtag Plexus by Celeste, it brings up 300 or something posts, and it's all
wait
her.
Who? Celeste who?
Yeah, Celeste Gwynn. That's
You almost got him. You almost
did. But yeah, so that's the one I always use because she has created this. It's almost like a mini website within Instagram. She can send someone and say, "Oh, go look up hashtag Plexus by Celeste on Instagram." You click on that, you type it in, and this whole thing of posts comes up of she's on safari. Here's her crazy house. Here's like all this stuff, and it's her brand. That's what it represents. Now Snapchat's definitely different, but it's the same kind of thinking. It just all ties into your brand, and while you're not coming with a hard sell, you're showing people little intimate glimpses into what your life looks like, and certainly your life is going to include pieces of Plexus, like convention. That would have been an awesome chance for people. I'm at my company, my convention. Look at this store. Look how huge it is. Look at the video wall we got. Look at who's on stage, and all that. The Diamond, Denim and Diamonds concert, Little Big Town. All that stuff is all positive things towards your ultimate goal.
So probably using that story app, that story component of Snapchat would seem to make the most sense.
Yes. Yeah, for that purpose. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, we got another one over here.
Do we have time for another one, Jen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So pretending you're a Plexus ambassador again, what does a typical social media day look like for building your business?
Good question. While I would say it's different for everybody, personally, for me, if I was really relying heavily on social media in general, and I'm on, let's say, a couple of different platforms. So not every platform. I'm not on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google+. Right? That would be crazy. Nice hat, by the way. I would definitely start my day social media wise with Facebook, checking to see what engagement my posts have gotten, the notifications, checking all those, checking my groups, checking my team, checking on everything that they're talking about that day. all the different pieces that are on Facebook, because Facebook's a lot of it. Facebook is a lot of it. I would do some sort of post in the morning to get things going. If I had a business page, I would schedule a post either the day before or have content scheduled already to post early in the morning, because that content gets a lot more traction, I feel like, on business pages is when it's earlier in the morning. Even personal profiles, if it's earlier in the morning. And depending on your time zone, that makes a big difference too. Here in the West Coast time zone, I schedule a lot of our company posts to be like 4 or 5 a.m. sometimes on our time, because East Coast time is obviously 3 hours later, so it's not getting seen until then. But I would be active early. Same thing with, say Instagram. The earlier you can get it in, probably the better, because that now has an algorithm that it's working off of. It's not as well designed as Facebook's right now, but it's going to get there probably. It's showing you like the top 20, 25 most engaged with posts on Instagram, and then it's going chronologically after that since they changed it. But early activity, I would say, is key. If you're doing Snapchat, just doing little things throughout the day, little snaps throughout the day to add to your story, so that people, because that's 24 hours that's up there. And you're a Snapchat user, I'm guessing. You're not. Okay. I totally would have guessed you were. Snapchat it's up for 24 hours, so people aren't going to see it right when you snap it necessarily. They're going to go and watch. They're going to cycle through all the people that they follow and sit there and watch people's snaps and stories in a row, and they can skip through really easy. So, it depends on the content, on how interesting you can be.
Let's do one more question, and then we're going to wrap it up, and I'll talk about how you can reach out to Vince and bug him at all hours of the night going forward. Do you have one more? Going once, going twice. Vincent, I'll ask the last question then, and that is, what is your best no-nonsense piece of advice for everyone going forward as it relates to compliance and having compliant posts?
Ooh, for having compliant posts. Wow. Send every post. No.
No. Please no.
No. Just kidding. Look, I think most everyone at this point has a pretty good idea in terms of if something is not compliant. I know that there's still a lot of gray area and people are confused. Believe me, I know, I get it. Anything, I would err on the side of caution. That's what I would say. Anything that you feel like it used to be okay and now it may not be, I would stay away from it. Anything really medical related, like that mentions any sorts of ailments or diseases, or even if it's your personal testimony right now, you just got to be really careful. You have to be really careful. And especially on Facebook. Not saying that the others don't matter, because they do, but especially with Facebook, that's really the best I can say is the medical stuff and the financial. I mean, both of those, it's the same thing. Like, you have to be careful about the claims that you could potentially make. Look at it as someone that is not in Plexus, as someone that's seeing that post and what you do and discovering the company for the very first time. And that also works for the FTC or FDA.
Mm-hmm. Totally get it. Good. Vincent, I want to say thank you from our team.
Yes.
This is great information.
I hope it helped.
Absolutely. If people want to connect with you, I know you're on Facebook, Vincent Orleck, as well as on Twitter at Not a Guru, correct?
Pretty much, yeah. Or anywhere if they search for my name. Certainly, I usually come up with just even my name. So connect with me really anywhere you want to.
Awesome. And I'll basically, on behalf of our team, say thanks so
Yes,
much.
thank
I
you.
really appreciate it. I'm going to end the recording here now. Somehow, some way. There we go.